The health department notes a slow downward trend in COVID-19 cases in the country, but the agency says peak infections could just be seeing a delay. 120 schools are set to start face-to-face classes after President Duterte approved a pilot run. This comes as the DepEd reports record enrollment numbers. Another measure seeking to abolish the Budget Department's procurement arm has been filed, this time at the House of Representatives. Several groups are planning their protest tomorrow to mark the 49th anniversary of the declaration of martial law. Youth voters are being urged to cancel so-called junior dictators in next year's elections. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The health department said that cases nationwide are now at a slow downward trend. In today's briefing, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeres said average daily cases in the NCR declined to over 5,100 from the 5,900 cases per day logged in the last 2 weeks. The one-week growth rate nationwide and in Metro Manila likewise dropped. However, the DOH clarifies that cases have not yet peaked due to policy interventions and the ongoing vaccination program.
Although bumagal ang pagtaas, pero tumataas pa rin siya. Base rin dun sa projections natin, sinabi na nung ating faster projections na baka ang peak natin mangyari pa yan towards the end of September or early October dahil pinabagal na ng mga ginagawa nating intervention itong patuloy na pagtaas ng kaso.
One lawmaker wants to abolish the procurement service wing of the Budget Department. House Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez filed a bill that will dissolve the PS-DBM amid corruption allegations. If signed into law, government agencies will be able to procure their own supplies. A similar measure has been filed in the Senate, with the PS-DBM being under fire for the purchase of overpriced medical items from pharmaceuticals. President Duterte has also approved the pilot implementation of limited in-person classes for low-risk areas. In today's briefing, Education Secretary Leonor Briones said 100 public schools and 20 private schools have been expected or are expected to participate in the pilot run. This run will be monitored for 2 months and will be stopped immediately if the quarantine status of a specific area changes. The DepEd says that details of the pilot run, including the list of participating schools, will be released soon. And Pateros has adopted a mechanism to identify households with COVID-19 cases by tying yellow ribbons outside their houses. But the Commission on Human Rights warns this could result in discrimination against COVID-positive residents. Jenny Dongon with that story.
Yellow barricade tapes are tied as ribbons in front of houses in Pateros. This is how local officials in Pateros determined which households are infected or tagged as close contacts. The LGU says this is an easy way to monitor the COVID-19 situation in their area.
Ang problema natin, maraming asymptomatic. Marami kaming insidente rito, lalabas. Ang katwiran, wala naman kami nararamdaman. So ang magiging problema, maski ikaw na kapitbahay, hindi mo alam na positive to.
Pateros Mayor Miguel Ponce III defended this method, saying that the goal is not to discriminate but to detect infection before it gets worse.
Pero kung magpapaka-plastic tayo, may COVID ka na rito, ayaw mo pang aminin. Kung magpapaka-sensitive tayo, walang mangyayari.
Ponce says the use of yellow ribbon marks is purely voluntary and involves no politics. However, Pateros residents have mixed opinions on the matter.
Nakaka-degrade naman dun sa pamilyang itatag nyo kung isa lang naman ang positive.
Magiging safe po tayo ro kasi alam na natin sa lugar na yon na gradual lockdown. Makakaiwas po kami sa mga hawa-hawa.
Ponce also clarified that there will be no penalty for COVID-positive residents who refuse to have yellow ribbons tied in their houses. The Interior Department also approved this initiative by the Pateros LGU.
Mabuti na meron na tayong yellow tag na kasi unang-una sa granular lockdown, identify mo na yung bahay.
The Commission on Human Rights has reminded the government to be mindful of the social stigma that may arise from the mechanism. The CHR explained that the overt labeling of individuals affected by the disease may result to discrimination. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, PR1 News.
We'll have more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Various coalitions and organizations will be holding protests across the country tomorrow to mark the 49th anniversary of the declaration of martial law. Camille Samonte tells us more.
Reject! Reject! Reject junior dictators!
Various groups are planning to conduct a protest on Tuesday, September 21, to mark the 49th anniversary of dictator Ferdinand Marcos' declaration of martial law. The groups are planning to hold it at Daliwasang Bonifacio in Manila. Various protests are also slated in other parts of the country.
Hindi na po sapat yung nasa online lang tayo, hindi lang sapat na nagpo-post tayo sa Facebook. Kailangan ho makita na may mga aktual na tao na tumitindig at nagpapahayag at tumututol. Siyempre may pag-iingat.
Members of Akbayan Youth meanwhile urge voters to reject the so-called junior dictators in the upcoming 2022 elections. The group is referring to Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte and former Senator Bongbong Marcos. Mayor Sara's camp earlier said that the presidential daughter will not run for president next year and will instead seek re-election in Davao. Marcos, on the other hand, is looking to run for a national post, although it's not clear yet which position that is.
Tiyakin natin na sa darating na taon, sa darating na mga panahon, hindi na makakabalik muli sa poder na kapangyarihan itong mga diktador sa pamamagitan ng kanilang mga junior, na kanilang mga anak, na mga junior dictators na ito para hindi na muling nakawan ang bansa.
Eta Rosales, a former chairperson of the Commission on Human Rights, reminded the public of the horrors of martial law. During One Sambayan's Youth Online Forum, of which she's a convener, Rosales recalled how she was arrested, tortured, and sexually abused by the military at that time.
Sinakal na nila ako ng belt until, they sexually molested me. It became worse and worse.
Rosales urged the youth to be vocal and critical of the candidates in the upcoming elections.
Na kayo, boboto kayo, hindi lang dun sa winnable, hindi lang dun sa main numbers, kung hindi yung merong track record, yung merong character, yung merong responsibilidad at may pananagutan more than anything else. Dahil ito ang kahulugan ng tungkulin sa pamahalaan.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Two Kiwis looking to get home to New Zealand found a different way to deal with strict border measures by doing their quarantine at sea. Let's watch this Bloomberg Quick Take.
it means we can quarantine en route. So we arrive in New Zealand, so long as our passage has been 12 days or longer, we take a PCR test once we get in, and provided that's negative, then we're free to go. We rely on international borders being open for our work, and that's not the case at the moment. So we've found ourselves with a bit of time, a bit of downtime to do something else we're excited about.
We could do this kind of thing without COVID, but the fact that we're doing it now and everyone else is kind of maybe not having the best time, and the fact there's no tourists and stuff here is pretty awesome. We're seeing stuff that's normally packed and now it's empty, so we just get to go and do what we want with the only tourists and get to see it untouched.
We have an opportunity to sail 4,000 miles down to New Zealand back home, because it's quite difficult to move here around Asia at the moment. We can make water, we've got solar power, the boats, she's good for the job.
It's even got a washing machine. More hands on deck kind of helps us as well, so yeah, it allows them getting into New Zealand and also helps us taking the load off a bit.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Budget Department has slashed the Health Department's COVID-19 response budget for next year. Marikina Representative Stella Kimbo told One News's Agenda that the proposed budget submitted by the DOH did not take into account funds for another infection surge. The Education Department reports that enrollment for this school year has breached 28 million. This is 2 million higher than last year's number. The DepEd says they are happy with the enrollment turnout this year. And Los Angeles hosts the 73rd Annual Emmy Awards today, with Netflix's hit series The Crown winning 7 honors, including Best Drama Series, while Apple TV Plus's comedy Ted Lasso took home 4 awards. Another Netflix series, The Queen's Gambit, won 2 Emmys, including a win for Best Limited Series. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.